Okay, let's fix these. Let's bring this face down a bit. And bring this one down also. Let's go to the top view. And this is pretty much our normal map. We created these in 3ds Max, but these bricks need to be sculpted in Blender. And we are going to do those in Blender just in a bit. Okay, let's bring these and let's start working on the wood. And I think for the wood it's pretty much not a lot of work because we created these in 3ds Max, and we are going to create most of these woods in Blender, so that there are a couple of ways creating trims and you can experiment either way you want. And if you remember, these were supposed to be our iron bars. Let me bring the reference pad up. You see, this one is a straight line, and these, for example, have some screws and bolts on those. For example, like this one. We are creating a couple of irons without the screws and bolts, and a couple of them with screws and bolts. This is the iron edge for healthy without screws and bolts. This is the iron healthy with the screws and bolts. And for the screws and bolts, we are not doing a magic technique, we're just doing the spheres. Okay, let's bring this one up. Okay, here we go. This one is our screw. Let me first slice it, but in a negative way. 180. Okay, and this one is going to be here. First, let's add a segment. Okay, and we snap this one to this segment. This one is here. Let's change it to editable poly. And rotate this one 180 degrees and snap it here. So when it tiles, this part connects to this one and creates a perfect screw. So let's check the tiling. As you see, It makes a perfect screw. And in between, okay, let's add some here. Okay, 5 is enough, I believe. Let's do some random placement, and it's fine. And iron, has a hard surface, and for beveling the iron, you see, this one is how the normal map is going to look. You see this bevel, we're going to use this bevel to create that hyperly effect that we are going for. Okay, let's bevel this one also. And I think these ones need bevel also. Looks like didn't work on this one. Select these edges and convert them to vertex selection and across y-axis. Okay, now select these ones and copy them down to here so that we have, let me bring this one in the center. Okay, it's done. We have a healthy iron without the screws, uh, rusty iron with the screws, healthy iron, rusty screw, so that we have some variations. You will understand that in the substance texturing phase. And if you want to have some more, you can chamfer this also. Let's go to top view. And adding the chamfer, nope, doesn't work. This one is good. Normal map is reading pretty well. Okay, see you in the next session. And now for the next piece, we're going to do this type of iron. And we need to divide it in half. Let's detach this one. Okay. We have this one here and this one here. And we are going to make one of them healthy and one of them rusty. And unlike these top ones, these are a bit thicker, just unlike these tiny ones. Let's cap. Let me detach these ones and the cap. Okay. And select this one, and this one. And now we have those pieces that were disconnected. mistakenly. And let's pull the vertices, okay, and cap it. Okay, and this way we are able to get a bit of bevel profile to our mesh. Let's select these edges and chamfer these a bit to make them a bit rounder. Okay, now we can see how round it is. And the same thing goes for this one. Okay, and let's do the chamfer. Okay, now I'm happy with it. And for this piece that is going to be wood and some screws, let's copy these over. Okay, these are wood planks that with some screws and bolts in them. And we're going to sculpt these in Blender. And these are woods that are going to be sculpted in Blender. And this one is the wood plank. This one is going to be sculpted in Blender also. And this one is the rooftop. And let's look at the rooftop reference just to see what we need. It's here. They are rectangular shapes just laid on top. And nothing so fancy, just some rectangular shapes. And this one is 1/2 meter in 4. And for creating and having the tiling in mind, let's bring this one up. 1/2 meter, let's divide it by 3. Let me bring the calculator up. Divided by 3, 16 centimeters. And the width, I'm going to put it on 50. No, 50 is too much, I believe. Let's make it 40. Okay, now 40 is a lot better. And the height to something lower, like 5. Let's detach it into 2 pieces. And let's connect it and copy it 9 times and set it to instance. It fully covers the area. Okay, and let's select these and bring them up a bit. And bring them here to create that mosaic effect that they had. Okay, now I'm happy with it. Let's make this one unique. Delete these outer vertices and cap it. And this one also. Let's delete it. Go to border mode and cap it. Looks like I need to make it unique first. Okay, let's make it unique. Delete these and fill the cap. Okay, and let's take these bottom ones and we need to copy them one more time. Okay, now I feel like we have that effect that we were looking for. And if we let me delete these edges and you see this mosaic effect that we should have on top. And I'm happy with it. And we should sculpt these in Blender. And we will sculpt these when it's time. Okay, let's bring this one a bit down and select these and bring them down for a better normal view. Let's make the colors black. Let's apply the same material to all of those. Okay, now let's review what we have here. These are the top iron pieces. This is the rooftop. This is the iron panel for those buckets that we had. This is the wood with some screws in it. These are smaller woods. This is the wood plank that we needed for this part. Okay. And this one is also the wood that we are going to use for carts. For example, these one. Okay, now I think we're done with blocking out the shapes in 3ds Max and we can move safely to Blender to see what happens with the sculpting phase. Okay, see you in the next session.